Today on Caribnation, I am excited to have the start of our Young Leaders series. And today we feature young people from Trinidad and Tobago who are leading our youth here in the DC region and across the Caribbean. We're going to be speaking with Charisa Bernard, Adam Raffoul, and Kenya Lara. Stay tuned. Up next is Caribnation. Caribnation TV. I am Abby Charles and I'm your host for this evening, and I'm so excited that we get to feature some young people who are doing phenomenal things here in the DC area and really creating some waves. And you know, it's time for us to really feature our young people and recognize that the youth are the way of the future. So today we have on our show Charisa Bernard, who is the co-founder of the Student and Professional Organization of Trinidad and Tobago, Adam Raffoul, who is president of the American University Caribbean Circle and co-founder of the Student and Professional Organization of Trinidad and Tobago, and Kenya Lara, who is a phenomenal pannist here in our region and has been making waves across the US and across the region, but really leading our youth in this area. And today, we're featuring Trinidad and Tobago young people, right? And this is part of a series that's going to be ongoing, and we'll feature young people from different islands as we go along. So let's get started. And I'd love to hear from you all. And starting with Charisa, tell me a little bit more about you, your background, where in Trinidad are you from, and what have you been doing?
Thank you, Abby, for having us, and thank you, Caribnation. I am from Arima.
Okay.
I moved here in 2005 to the United States. I went to American University, and upon graduation, I've been doing consulting with the diaspora community. Currently, I'm a consultant for the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, specifically on their Voice Project. Okay. And recently, as you mentioned, I founded the Trinidad and Tobago, the Student and Professional Organization of Trinidad and Tobago. Right. So that's what I have been up to as of lately.
We're definitely going to get more into the Student and Professional Organization of Trinidad and Tobago, SPOT,
yes,
as it's called. But, you know, Adam, tell me a little bit about your background.
I'm just trying to keep up with her. Thanks for having me again. I'm from Westmoreland in Trinidad and Tobago. I came to AU in 2010, so I'm a junior right now. I've been the president of American University's Caribbean Circle for the last 2 years.
Okay.
So that's part of my activism. I'm also part of the Student and Professional Organization of Trinidad and Tobago. Okay. And we're just trying to do stuff for our Caribbean people. We're just trying to like put our name out there. Also, just try and like give back.
Awesome, awesome. Kenya, a little bit about you. Tell me about your background.
I'm from DC. I go to Benjamin Banneker, where I'm a senior.
Okay.
Me and my sisters, we found an organization called Kenya Lara, where we teach the youth how to play pen, and we are able to give back to the community and teach them certain life skills that they'll need.
All right. Now, so Banneker is a high school.
Yeah.
All right. And I need to learn some pan. So we are definitely going to talk after this about you doing some private lessons with me. But, you know, I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts about why young people should be engaged and, you know, why you are passionate about giving back to your community in the ways that you've described.
I think it's very essential for us to cultivate a relationship with the younger demographic. Time, as we know, not everyone is not here for a long period of time. Everybody's here to serve, and then we all die at some point. Somewhere or the other, we leave, we exit. And I think for each country, each nation, organization, whatever your main purpose is, you need to cultivate a relationship with the young people of tomorrow in order to have future leaders of today. It's very cliche, but I do think it's very real, and it's a reality to kind of channel the next way our nation will go.
Adam?
Well, as you had said earlier, young people are the future. There's an old saying that if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Wow.
And I think that's very true. I think we need to start mentoring young people and make sure they could become the next future leaders and try and solve the problems the older generation has done.
Okay, okay.
Wow, they said what I was going to say. But the new generation is the promise of tomorrow. So if we help them today, they'll be good future leaders.
Right. So, Adam, tell me a little bit about the Caribbean Circle at American University and why you decided to run for president, right? That is a leadership role. Why president and why at American University?
Well, I was very involved in my freshman year.
Okay.
And I thank Deshauna for that. So she had approached me to run for treasurer my sophomore year. So I started running treasurer. Then the president actually went to study abroad. And I was already on the executive board. And I was tipped to take over. So I was just kind of like thrust into it. Right. So I've been president for this semester will be a year and a half. I've been president. And I'm really trying and be a voice for Caribbean students at AU. You're a very small community, but just trying to teach people about our culture. Right. And that's my main goal, I'm trying to connect students with the professionals.
So this role, president is a big title. Do you have visions or hopes for future involvement in government or politics in any way when you are going back to Trinidad or here in the U.S.?
Potentially.
Okay.
I like to keep my cards to myself.
Okay,
but,
okay.
But maybe. I think, honestly, like, looking back at it, I think Trinidad and Tobago has so much potential. We see it all the time. You could just go walk down the street and you see so much potential. Right. But I think the problem is we just mismanage it. Yeah. I think we really need to... If we really want to make this place a paradise, Trinidad and Tobago, we have to contribute. Right. And if I could do something to contribute to that, I think that's the best thing.
Awesome. And Deshauna, right? Tell me a little bit about your involvement in the Congressional Black Caucus, because that's a pretty big, you're involved in government in some way here in the U.S. Why CBC and what are your intentions? Where do you want to see yourself in the future?
The Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, I was an emerging leader in 2009. So after getting selected to be an emerging leader with them, I definitely got an inside look as to what the pivotal role that the foundation had. They do speak to a lot of issues that happens in the black community. And here in the United States, I've come to realize that even us as Caribbean nationals, we fall under that bracket. Right. The diaspora falls under that bracket, and they're at the forefront of a lot of those issues. So when the opportunity became available for me to work on the A Voice project, which is an online virtual library housed at the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation. And funny enough, the project director is Trini, Ms. Trini-Eiffel. So I do want to put that out there as well. I definitely took the opportunity. This is a very, very rare tool. It's the only one of its kind, and they house all the legislation that the founding members made, the 13 founding members of the CBC, and then even currently the 43 members that are in Congress that they're following. Oh, wow. So we have the different exhibits there, going from even anti-apartheid movement, women of the CBC, some of the most popular exhibits, women like Shirley Chisholm, who's also a West Indian, and she was the first African-American to run for president. So these things kind of were fine-tuned, I guess, and well, not fine-tuned, but went in line with my own goals of kind of like preserving history, being a part of history, and then being a part of my community. Right. So I found it essential, and I felt quite at home being there. Okay, yeah.
Awesome. Kenya, from my understanding, you were in the newspaper in Trinidad, right? Yeah. So, and featuring you and your work with the steel pan, tell me a little bit more about your pan and, Lara, family and friends and cafe and the groups that you perform with. Tell me a little bit about your pan background.
So in 2004, me and my family went to South Africa, and we gave back to the community. We played at an all-girls school, so we knew we wanted to come back to America and give back to the community. So we started playing at churches, nursing homes, and now me and my sisters, we created Pan Lara, which is a nonprofit organization where we teach the youth at Tacoma Park Baptist Church. Okay. I started learning pan at cafe, as you know. I've been playing pan for dang, 9 years.
Oh, wow. Wow.
It's a long time. But with pen, we're able to speak a different language. It's easier to teach somebody pen, and now they have an instrument to play, not just piano or violin. It's something different.
Awesome. All right. So you are all involved in the community in some way, form, or fashion, right? And you talked a little bit about why that's important. And I'm curious about whether you see the need to give back. And Adam talked a little bit about this, back to Trinidad, which, Kenya, you're Trini-American, right? But Deshauna, you were born in Trinidad, as well as Adam. What do you see, or how do you see yourself giving back to Trinidad and giving back to the Caribbean at large?
Well, for me, I think by not supporting the brain drain, I've always said that publicly. I've always made that very clear, that my one goal is, after I have come here and definitely expanded on my skills and learned, I'm going back.
Okay.
So that is my contribution, to go back and definitely find avenues and ways there that I can work with the community. I have a passion for grassroots movements, and then also like public service. So hopefully everything that I do here, somewhere along the line, it could definitely help back home.
Yeah. Kenya?
I just want to give back to the community. And by teaching an instrument that's not known in DC or around America, that'll be good to give back to the community, and teach like young students how to learn pen, since it's not really known in different colleges, schools.
Adam, you hinted a little bit at giving back to Trinidad. Do you plan to go back to the Caribbean, and how do you plan to get involved, or why is it important?
I think that's the eventual plan. As Deshauna alluded to, we are at Spot, and Spot is supposed to connect students to professionals.
Okay.
So we're trying to connect college students right now to like professionals here in DC. We want to eventually do a launch, and then we want to connect them back home to companies. We want to try and get them involved in like the business sector, because if there's no jobs, we have to create our own jobs.
Right.
So if we could encourage college students who have the education to get jobs, to create jobs, to create their own businesses, then you could create economic growth, and which helps your economy.
That's phenomenal. You know, when I was at college a long time ago,
Not too long.
it was a long time ago. There wasn't a student professional opportunity like what you are discussing or planning to design with Spot. So tell me a little bit about why you decided to create Spot, Deshauna.
Well, just like you felt, like while I was an undergrad, I, as the 4 years went by, I kept saying like, I wish I was more connected to the community. The community is there. They're there with open arms. I would not, question that at all. But there wasn't an avenue. There wasn't a liaison. There wasn't someone to say, hey, come check out these students here. Professionals, hey, come over to our university, or them to say, come to our stuff. So upon graduation, I was very, very committed to starting the organization. I started speaking with the Embassy of Trinidad and Tobago, reaching out to the different associations, Trinidad and Tobago Association, Trinidad and Tobago Working Women's Committee, the Caribbean Professional Network, people that already had things going, to just talk to them about the young people. And I think by now being a professional, I understand, because I was a student, I'm now in the professional world, and I'm able to kind of bring that both groups together through Spot. And like Adam mentioned, we're going to officially launch. However, we have socially launched on social media and Facebook. So I do want to invite folks to definitely like us on Facebook.
Definitely.
Send us messages, send us opportunities that you want featured. Within the first 2 weeks, we had over 50 likes. We're now up to 86, and it's only been 3 weeks.
Awesome.
So definitely the traction is there. People are liking the page. And we do want to be a resource. There are fellowships out there, there are internships out there, there are different opportunities professionals know about that our students need. So we're geared towards Trinidad and Tobago, but we do have a Caribbean perspective, and that's why Spot was created.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you guys think about the Caribbean right now, I'd love to hear from each of you what you think is one of the biggest challenges that you have seen or have heard about, and how do you plan to get involved in creating change with that challenge? Who wants to go? Yeah, go ahead, Anna.
Let me start. I think everybody in Trinidad and Tobago knows crime is probably one of the biggest concerns.
Yeah.
I had to write a research paper last semester for one of my classes. What you're seeing is like a a 400% increase in murders over the last 10 years.
Wow.
Over that same time, you've seen like a decline in detection rates because basically our police officers could not keep up with the amount of like gang-related murders. So after reading that, after like researching that, and talking to one of my like professional contacts, one of my mentors, I decided to like write a letter to the editor. So my first letter to the editor was in January, and I was dealing with giving police officers the equipment to deal with crime.
Right.
So proper training. That's where you really need to fight crime. You need to improve the detection rate, which is like at like 10%. You need to give them the resources, the skills, so they can really make a difference. I just actually got another article published.
Oh, awesome.
This in the Express and Newsday last week, and that was about mentorship.
Right.
That was about mentorship for students at schools. That was for motivational speakers. I think you need to deal with crime in like a less high-handed way than what's currently being proposed. I think you need to go into schools and really like mentor young people and try, because we are the future.
Yeah, yeah.
And if people have no hope or think crime is easy to get money, that's what's going to happen.
Right. So it sounds like you supported more of a holistic view of dealing with crime. So definitely the police have to have their skills, but also we have to start reaching young people in a different way. That's what I'm hearing. That's phenomenal and featured in the newspaper. That's great stuff. I am waiting to be featured in the newspaper. I'm hearing of 2 celebrities here on our hands. But Kenya, tell me a little bit about what you hear as a big challenge in the Caribbean or in Trinidad, and how you might think the Steel Pan or yourself, you might be able to change some of that.
I think that maybe they should open some more music programs because Pan allowed me to do better in school. With math, it helps you to broaden your horizons, to do different things. Just being on the stage it just makes me feel good. Yeah. So maybe if they open the music programs, maybe students can come and learn music to get out the streets and be able to do something productive.
I'm going to work on getting you some money to go to Trinidad and start going around to schools, right? Because it sounds like engaging our youth in different ways. I mean, it's probably happening, but we need to do so much more. Of course, and why not let that be led by young people, right? Yeah. Deshauna.
And if you're getting any money to go, we definitely want you to invite you to be a part of SPA. Because that's exactly the kind of things like Adam is talking about and Kenya is talking about. That is exactly what I've been talking about for 4 years. Yeah. And for me, my passion is, I did political science and international relations. So my passion is always of becoming a global citizen. Of course, being true to self, knowing your home, being having that your country's pride and carrying that with you, but also becoming globally fluent and relevant. And I would hope that more international opportunities become available to young people in Trinidad and Tobago. I think when you get to see the outside world, you get to be outside of, it forces you to come out of your own skin. Yeah. For me, being able to go abroad into Europe, attend briefings, do things that I wanted to do that I didn't think was possible while I was at school. Thankfully, I went to a very great high school, St. George's College, and I would put that out there. And, those things were possible, going to Venezuela and learning Spanish with Ms. Gampot at St. George's. And I think, becoming like a global citizen, getting that mind frame kind of expands you outside of Trinidad, outside of the Caribbean region, outside of just the U.S., Africa. It makes you incorporate so many different skills and values that could be so valuable so you can be an active part of your own community and bring that back there. So my hope is that doors are open, that our Trinbagonian students, young professionals, get opportunities, be it a week, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, to step outside of the box just for a little bit. It definitely will bring change.
Awesome.
I believe that.
Awesome. And Deshauna, as you spoke, you talked a lot about your influences, right? Your teachers, the schools you went to, etc. Who are your supporters? Who has influenced you to be the leaders that you are today?
My family, hands down, mommy and daddy, dearest, and my brother. I have a very, very strong family network. I will say I was one of the first to graduate on my mother's side from college here in America, in the US. And my whole entire family came to the graduation. And, you know, everyone was just like, oh my God, the entire family is here. And I was like, this is not my achievement. It's everyone's achievement. I have my cousins coming behind me. But I would take the time to say that my family is my supporters. They're definitely my backbone. No doubt.
Adam?
Yeah, pretty much my family too, you know. My parents have like an amazing work ethic, you know. My dad is like a self-made man. Never went to college. Both parents didn't go to college, so like my siblings and I are the first to go to college. So it is like just looking at how far they've come, it kind of inspires me to try and keep up, if I could even like keep up with them, you know.
Right, of course you can. Kenya, who are your influencers? Who have influenced where you are today?
Just like they said, my family. If it wasn't for my mother, I wouldn't have learned how to play pan. Both my parents come to all my performances. Me and my sisters, we have the Lara Family Friends where we go out and we play together. So that's good.
Okay. And is there one, you know, I don't like to say celebrity, but celebrity or public figure who you really admire and aspire to outside of our parents and family? Who would you say is that person who you most want to replicate, or you see as that person you want to be or be beyond in the future?
I've never really thought of that, to be honest. I guess I'll probably have to refer to some of the mentors in my life. The first mentor that actually comes to mind is Dr. Elsie Scott. Of course, she's not the Oprah and Maya Angelou's and all of that, but she's is an excellent. She could probably come par with them. She was the former president of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation. And when I was an intern, I had the opportunity to shadow her.
Wow.
And you know, when you come from, you know, Trinidad, you know, some organizations, they either you talk too fast, the accent, they don't understand you. None of these things were an obstacle. And she always pushed me and encouraged me to, you know, put myself out there, put my best foot forward. And I shadowed her for like 3 years after that. She always called me back every ALC. And I really admired her. She's a political scientist, excellent person in the community, and definitely a woman to look up to. So I guess that would be my celebrity.
Awesome. Thank you.
Adam
or Kenya? Kenya.
I would think Von Martin.
Oh, okay, Mr. Martin. I like this.
Well, you know how he gives back to the community, and, you know, he's the one that helped me to be in the Trinidad newspaper.
Okay.
He contacted someone to go through all my accomplishments, and I want to be like him because, you know, everything that he does is for the community, not just for himself or his family.
Right. So, and I'm going to stick on Kenya for a little second because you talked about your accomplishments. Tell us a little bit. I heard you were part of a competition recently. Tell me a little bit more about that accomplishment.
So it was a competition in DC for DC schools, and I was the first person to play pan. So I made it into the semifinals, and that was really good. They said that they've never seen a person play pan. They didn't even know what the pan was. So I played In the Mood. It was a jazz song, and then when I was playing, they were wondering, how do you play that? I was like, I have mallets. It's just the same thing as the piano, just made a different way.
Wow. Okay, so you are really promoting the steel pan and Trinidadian culture globally, really. Like, if you think about it, that's phenomenal. All right, Adam.
I think I've had like a lot of great teachers both in Trinidad and Tobago and here in DC, and I'm a product of both places.
Okay.
And I think the entire society and just the individuals who've impacted my life, I don't think I could really just say like one person.
Okay. So if you were to be mentoring another young person, right? Somebody, one of our leaders today says always, we don't just look back, you look back and extend a hand to bring somebody forward, right? So if you were bringing someone forward, what are the key things you will tell them that they need to succeed? Give me 3 things for each of you that you think a young person will need to succeed to be where you are today.
My top 3 will be integrity, consistency, and dedication.
Why?
I think like by possessing those myself and even learning and growing in those skills has definitely gotten me to the place that I want to be. And I have so much more took, a long way to go still, I know that. But those three have definitely helped me in multiple situations and have always, I guess, caused me to be at the front of my game.
Okay.
And whoever, and I already extend hands, I've constantly done that, even with spot, I will definitely always put those three on the top of my list.
All right. Adam.
I think, first of all, you need a lot of hard work.
Okay.
Sometimes there's times where you feel like just giving up, but you just have to keep pushing. Determination, and dedication. You have to love what you do, and you have to find something that you think you can make a difference in your life and other people's life. And if you find both qualities and you're happy doing it, I think you found what you should be doing in life.
Okay. Well, Kenya.
Well, I think that you should just be yourself, be dedicated to what you want to do, and then from that, you should be able to move forward. And practice. Just keep practicing. Never give up on what you're doing.
Right. And, as we're getting ready to wrap up, but I'd love to hear from you all just one thing, one message that you would like to share with parents, viewers, young people about what it takes to be a leader.
Just believe in yourself. Never give up on what you're doing, because people will always bring you down. People can bring you up. Just be yourself and do what you have to do.
We all have the capacity to be leaders. We just have to see it in ourselves and just make sure whatever we do, we try to do to our best of our ability, because there are always people who are watching. And once everything you do to your best, then you're an example to everybody else.
Find your niche and tap into it, activate it. Mentality is everything. Like I guess I can piggyback off of Adam and say we all have the capacity to be leaders. I think everyone is born a leader. It's just about tapping into it, using it, and broadening horizons. Don't limit yourself. Don't put yourself in a box.
How can people find out about Spot?
Facebook, like our page. You'll see a nice little picture, The Spot, and that's the place you need to be, The Spot. The student and professional organization of Trinidad and Tobago. Right now we have a lot of resources up there, fellowships, internships that accept international students, even opportunities back home in Trinidad. We feature it as well because we want to connect both places. Yes, we're geared towards Trinidad and Tobago, but we do have a Caribbean perspective. So all are welcome. Find us online.
And Kenya, when is your next performance, and how can we appreciate the beauty that you are when you're playing the pan and beyond?
Well, I don't know my next performance is, but you guys can go on Facebook and click on Lara Family and Friends. If you want to learn how to play pan, you can come on Saturdays where we teach at the Tacoma Park Baptist Church to help.
All right. And what is your next step? Where are you headed to next? Since you're the youngest on the show, where are you headed to next?
I'm going to Hampton University.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'm sure that you're going to have some phenomenal mentors, and I hope you all connect as a result of this show too, for your next steps. You are truly the future of our community of Trinidad and Tobago, of this region, and you're really promoting our culture in a phenomenal way. So thank you so much for just being you, and continue along your path. Tonight I would like to thank so much Charisa Bernard, Adam Raffoul, and Kenya Lara for gracing me with your presence, and gracing us with your presence. This has been Caribnation TV. Again, my name is Abby Charles, and I want you to remember that we are one Caribbean, one culture.